I'm using an assortment of reds. I like scrappy quilts, so I usually purchase a quarter of a yard to a half a yard. So I've used an assortment of different reds, dark reds mostly. If you wanted to select one fabric, you would need approximately a yard and a half. And I don't so much worry about keeping everything straight on grain. I know this is an edge piece, and so if I have a straight edge, I use it, but I'm not fussy about straight of grain because the French fuse acts as a stabilizer. And also, very important, the freezer paper itself is acting as the stabilizer, and you see this is kind of loose. When you're ironing your pieces of freezer paper to your fabric, I use a big iron about on the cotton setting and let the iron do its work. Just don't go over it lightly, because the freezer paper acts as a stabilizer also until you have those edges turned. So you don't want to have a wimpy piece of freezer paper because you're turning it to the edge. So if you need to reapply the freezer paper, just iron it back down again and let the iron do its work. Just pause there a little bit. Now, when we started this quilt, I had this inspiration to do Happy in the Mountains in January. And I was using these kind of Christmassy colors because this is going to be a Christmas gift for this next Christmas. But now here we are into April. It's springtime. And I may want to do this quilt again. I don't often repeat a quilt, but I'm inspired by all the spring blossoms coming out now. So you can save your freezer paper patterns. And if you organize them, like put all the doves together, all the background pieces together with a couple paper clips, and just stick them in an envelope and save them, because you can use the freezer paper patterns up to 4 times. Organization is so important. When I was cutting this out, I put all the red background pieces on a pile, and then I kept the leaves on a little pile, all the berries on a pile, and the little twigs or stems, because you don't want to spend all your time hunting for things. So if you just take a few minutes while you're cutting the patterns out to keep things organized. Okay, now we've put the red border down on 3 sides here, so we can remove the rest of the white dove. You slide your sewer stiletto under there. And remove that. All right, but now we want to leave the red border on. We're not ready to remove that yet because we still have all these stems and berries and leaves to build. And that's why it's so important to do a digital image of these, because you can see how the numbers disappear where the stems are going to go. So you leave these pieces here until the stems are in place, and by taking a digital image you'll be able to find the correct piece for that location.
Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm Anne's assistant, and I'm going to show you how you can move the quilt top when you're working on it in case the section you're working on is too far away from you. So we've got this long, wide table. We've worked as far as we can, but rather than lean across the table, we're going to pick up both our drawing and the French fuse that now already has some of our pattern pieces ironed down to it, move it all together. We've showed you in a previous video how you can tape the working drawing, the French fuse, to your working drawing. We didn't do that with this middle piece, so this is another way that you can move it if you need to. So go ahead and remove all of the painter's tape that was stabilizing it to your table. And then you want to pick up, so you've got both your French fuse with the pattern pieces already ironed on and your working drawing. You're going to pick them up together. Rotate the whole thing and then just tape it back down.